Hello, and a warm welcome to our weekly show, Love Athletics. In this program, we bring you the latest highlights from our sport with expert input from different continental areas. And we're delighted to have as our guest today the 2012 Olympics 4x400 meter relay champion and world indoors multi-medalist, Chris Fireman Brown of the Bahamas. Hello, Chris. Lovely to see you, and a big thank you for joining us.
Good morning or good afternoon. Thank you for having me, and it's always a pleasure to see you, Anna.
Thank you. Now, this fortnight's events were dominated by the big one, the World Indoor Championships. Athletes surpassed themselves in Belgrade, where 3 world records, 7 championships records, 17 area records, and 72 national records were set. The medal table was topped by Ethiopia with 9 medals, of which 4 gold, ahead of the US with a total of 19 medals, of which 3 gold, and Belgium, 2 medals, both of them gold. Countries from 5 continental areas won gold medals: Africa 4, Asia 1, Europe 11, NACAC 8, and South America 2. Korea and Uganda won a world indoors medal for the first time, and for Korea it was gold. And Trinidad and Tobago also won a gold medal for the first time. Now, Chris, did you have time to follow the world indoors?
Yes, I did. I followed bits and pieces of it. I didn't have time to follow every single from start to finish, but I was able to follow as much as I can, and some of the marquee events and some of the events that I don't regularly follow, I was able to watch some of those also.
Great. Now, last time we spoke to you during the Tokyo Olympics, 3 world records had just been improved in the first week. And we just saw 3 world indoor records in Belgrade, with Rojas once again on top of the world. Now, which event or athlete impressed you the most?
I would say, I was basically impressed by everyone's performance. It wasn't really a standout to me per se, even though world records were broken. I think everybody put forward a great forward foot, and they were able to go in there, and coming off of, all of this pandemic, they were able to still go out and showcase their talent to the world. And some of them, so did well, and some of them not as well as they intended to do. But I think that just being able to be back and compete at that level again, it was a huge accomplishment for a lot of them. But I was really impressed with the way they handled themselves and took care of business like normal.
Now, were you expecting a medal from Bahamian hurdler Devine Charlton? Because that's not really an event where the Bahamas has excelled so far on the world stage.
Well, she's been close for many years, and so being that the field was a level playing field, I think that she stood a good chance, and I felt like she was going to definitely get herself on the podium if she executed her race well. And I think she executed the perfect race, and that was a blessing for her, and kudos to her, and huge congratulations for her to be on that stage and get that individual podium spot.
That photo is from the arrivals hall in Nassau Airport and shows you with the first of your world indoor medals from Moscow 2006. And you medaled at every single world indoor championships you took part in after that. Now, you're one of the standout athletes at the world indoors, having collected the highest number of medals, a total of 6, 1 gold, 2 silver, and 3 bronze, same as Cuban high jumper Javier Sotomayor, who has 4, 1, and 1. What made the world indoors so special for you?
Well, first, to be in a class with a great legend like Sotomayor, it's basically it's a blessing. He's a legend in the sport. I have lots and lots of respect for him. So to be amongst that class, that class of professionalism, is a great feeling and a great accomplishment. the World Indoors is special for me because I felt like, it was designed for me, and I think that I had the right height, the perfect speed, the right mindset, and I just felt like that environment was my environment. I felt like the indoors was my house, and I controlled the temperature, I controlled the atmosphere, I felt like it's just my house for me to control, and um, I love the environment. I love the atmosphere with the crowd. I love competing against the best in the world, and it was just my house that I wanted to control, and I think that it was designed for me, and I took full advantage of it.
Did the closeness of the spectators play a role? Did it give you extra energy?
Definitely, definitely. Having that energy from the crowd right there, and 6 lanes, and real quick, you blink and it's over. The tight lanes, and I love the basic physical. I just love the physicality of it. Being so physical, and getting to that break, and just having everything that I felt like I have all the right tools for the right environment, and I just love it. I love indoors.
And it showed. Now, one of your indoor silver medals came in the relay in 2016, but let's talk about individual medals. Between 2005 and 2008, you had collected 2 World Indoor bronze medals, a total you later improved, and 3 fourth places, 1 at the Olympics and 2 at the World Championships. Then you finally took individual global gold at the World Indoors in Doha in 2010. Tell us about that race.
Well, I felt like, Doha, I don't know, it felt, when I first arrived in Doha, I felt something special when I first came off the plane. I don't know what it was, but I felt like, hey, this could be the time. And I felt like, I had all the burners ready to just ready to blaze, and being in Doha for the first time in my career, testing out the track, going to the practice session, everything was just so in sync. And I felt like, the environment, the crowd, the atmosphere was very lit. And I felt like, hey, if I wanna be able to make a name for myself, this is the proper place to do it, or this is the best place right now for me to do it, because I'm feeling really good. And my career was, I've been there so many times, and I felt like if I don't get it today, then I don't know when I'm gonna get it, because for me, I'm always, this is my last race, every race I enter is always my last, so I just felt like going into the World Indoor Championships in Doha was my last, and I felt like I got to give it everything I have, and so I wanted to leave it all on the track. Anna, this was my house, and I was willing to do whatever it took to get on that podium for that individual medal. And so Doha just happens to had me feeling really good and special about it, and I enjoy it. And I was looking forward to getting on that podium. I already visualized myself in the podium. So it just so happened I just had to go and put the work in.
Wow. Now, 2 years later, it was another bronze medal and then silver to complete your collection in 2014, which was really impressive because just a few days before traveling to Sopot, you had fallen on the ice, which uncharacteristically covered Georgia, and your face was still bruised and swollen. Tell us about that race and the lead up to the competition.
That morning, I was trying to get some snow out of my driveway to take my kids to school, and I slipped on the ice, face first, and I took 7 stitches to the eye, and I still got a mark, I think, somewhere on my face. I'm not sure if it's the left or the right, but I still have a mark on the face, and I took 7 stitches in my eye and chip a piece of my tooth, and wasn't sure I was going to actually go out there and compete, but again, it was my face and not my legs. So I'm looking like, as long as my legs are healthy, as long as my arms can move, there's no broken body, no broken bones, and I'm able and capable of going out there and competing with the best, and I'm in good shape. I'm ready to go. I'm like, hey, I don't have, what do I have to lose? I don't have anything to lose. Everything is the game. So I just felt like, I don't want to give this medal away. I wanted to be able to go to the indoors every single World Indoor season and get on that podium. And I wanted to make sure I left my mark. And so going into the World Championship that year, I was determined not to let a little stitches on the eye and let a little chip tooth and the scrape on my face stop me from achieving that goal. So I was hungry, and that didn't stop the adrenaline, that didn't stop the flow, that didn't stop the mission. And like I said, it was my house, and I was not willing to just give it away. And so therefore, I was just ready to go out there and compete and represent my country to my best ability and represent my family. So I was ready to go.
Wow. And yet in the relay Crazy Bahamas, you had told me that the reaction following that fantastic achievement had often been, yeah, well done. But what about the relay?
The relay that year, you know, I told my teammates, I said, look, guys, this could be it. You know, every year I come to the World Championships, I'm always on the podium individually. The relay medal is one medal, 4x4 indoors, that we've not been able to accomplish, even with some of the best 400-meter runners that we have had. You know, we've never been able to get on the podium. So I said to the guys, hey, I'm going to step away from the Open 4 this year, and I'm going to make sure that we get on the podium for the 4x4. And so that year I decided this is it. I'm going to, you know, step away from the quarter and just focus all my energy and attention on the 4x4. And I told the guys, if they want a medal, let's go there and get it, because I'm not going to give up an open medal that I know I have a great shot at getting, and just leaving it there for somebody else to take, and we still not going home with a medal. So putting all my focus and attention in the men's 4x4 was huge. The guys believed in me. They trusted in me that I would have been able to accomplish that goal. And so we did what we were supposed to do. You know, it was tough, but we got the job done. I wanted the goal. I wanted to walk away with a goal. I love to win. I love the taste of victory. And my teammates knew that about me, so they were willing to stand beside me and make that happen. And so we went out and accomplished that goal. And it wasn't a gold medal, but at least it was a medal that we all can say we won fair and square. And we had a great time achieving that goal together as a team.
Yeah, that was 2 years after Sopot in Portland. One of your 2 silver medals with the team. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. That was fascinating.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Let's take a look now at individual events, starting with the women. In the 60 meters women, before the race, most eyes were on Poland's Ewa Swoboda and the US sprinters. But Switzerland Mujinga Kambunji surged in the final stages and took a clear win in an outstanding 6:96, which makes her now equal 4th on the world all-time list and is the fastest time since 1999. Mikia Briscoe also went below 7 seconds, clocking 6:99, while 4 athletes were all timed in 7:04. It went down to thousands, with the 4 all within 8 thousandths of a second. 2 area records were set in this event by New Zealand's Zoe Hobbs in the heats with 7:13, and by Brazil's Vitória Cristina Mota in the semi-final with 7:14. In the 400-meter women, Bahamian Shawnee Miller-Weibo added world indoors gold to her 2 Olympic titles, clocking 50:31. An impressive achievement, as negotiating the tight indoor bends with her long legs is no easy feat. And the Bahamian had, in fact, vowed never to compete again indoors after placing 3rd in Sopot in 2:14. Dutch hurdler Femke Bol, who holds the world lead with 50:30 and has 3 other marks in the top 6 this season, closed in on Miller-Weibo in the home straight, but could not pass her, clocking 50:57 for silver, ahead of Jamaican veteran Stephanie Ann McPherson, who with 50:79 for bronze, added an individual indoor medal to her outdoor collection, which includes mostly relay medals, and an individual bronze back at the 2:13 World Championships. And Guyana's ALIYAH Abrams set an area record in the semi-final with 51:57 to qualify for the final, where she finished 5th. In the 800-meter women, the USA's Angie Wilson finally took gold in 1:59.09 after twice finishing runner-up in the last two editions with a dominant last lap. 21-year-old Ethiopian Frewenyi Hailu, who had one of the slowest times in the field, stayed near the back of the pack for most of the race, but concluded with a strong acceleration to take silver in a PB of 2:00:54, ahead of reigning outdoor world champion Uganda's Halima Nakai with 2:00:66, who earned the first world indoor medal for Uganda. Jamaica's Natoya Goul, who had run under 2 minutes 3 times this year and holds the second best mark of the season, clocked 2:01:18 for fourth after leading most of the race. And Britain's world leader, Keely Hodgkinson, had to pull out before the heats due to a quad injury. Now, the 1500 meters was an Ethiopian affair, as Gudaf Segai, Aksumawi Tembaye, and Hirut Meshesha trusted the podium, the first time this happened in any event at the World Indoors, and only possible since wild cards were introduced, as each country can normally enter only 2 athletes per event at the Indoors. Gudaf Segai dominated the race, leading from the start and dipping under 4 minutes for the third time this year, the only athlete to do so, to take victory in 3:57:19, a championships record, adding global gold to her collection of 3 bronze medals at the Olympics, outdoor, and indoor world championships. Aksumai Tembawe, already a world indoor silver medalist in 2:14, repeated her feat, while Hirut Mesheshe took her first global medal at 1500 after All Africa Games gold and World Under 17 bronze at the 800 meters. Ethiopian journalist Anna Gebreselassie sent this video reaction to the unprecedented podium sweep by the Ethiopian ladies.
Thank you, Anna, for the chance. This year's World Indoor Championship has been one of the most successful tournaments for Ethiopian athletes, particularly. Also, all Ethiopian athletics family in general. After recent World Indoor Tour performances by Ethiopian athletes, a little bit of success was expected from everyone, but not as such a huge achievements as it happens in Belgrade. If I have to choose one particular race from the whole tournament, I would definitely go for the medal sweep by the women's 1500 meters competition, which was an outstanding performance that we saw from Gudaf Segai, followed by her compatriots Aksumai Tembaye and Hirut Meshesha. Of course, Gudaf has been performing very well over the past few years, despite her frustrating performance at the Olympics. But she had such a successful years over the past 3-4 years, we can say. Of course, she was directly qualified to the Belgrade Championships with her World Indoor Tour performances, and also the world record performance. So her championship record performance at the Belgrade was an outstanding one.
In the 3000 meter, again, Ethiopia with Lemlem Hailu, the 2:17 world under 18 champion, who took gold in 8:41:82 in a tactical race, chalking up the 9th gold for Ethiopia at this event in the last 10 championships. Other medals went to the USA's El Pourir Saint-Pierre, who put her superior speed to good use with a decisive surge in the last 150 meters, and fellow Ethiopian Ejgayu Taye. Their compatriot, world leader Dawit Seyaum, had to be content with 5th, while Kenya's Beatrice Chebet, the 2:19 world cross-country under-20 champion and under-20 world 5,000 meter champion the previous year, was only 10th. Now, in the 60 meters hurdles, The top two athletes both set national records to earn their first global senior medals. France's 21-year-old Serena Samba Mayela, the world under-18 silver medalist in 2017, took gold with 7.78, ahead of the Bahamas' Devine Charlton with 7.81, and celebrated her victory in style. The USA's Gabrielle Cunningham completed the podium with 7.87. Jamaica's pre-race favorite, world leader and 2:15 outdoor world champion Danielle Williams, went out in the heats after hitting 2 hurdles and losing her rhythm. In the high jump, the Ukraine's Yaroslava Maguchik took an emotional victory, overcoming so much more than her rivals, including a 3-day drive from Ukraine to Serbia, and the top 2 went over 2 meters for the first time this season. So Maguchik, who had been trailing behind after a failed first attempt at 1 meters 92, needed 3 tries at 2 meters, while Australia's ELEANOR Patterson, the world leader before Belgrade, cleared the height at the second try to further improve her Oceania record. But Maguchik, still only 20 years old, sailed over 2 meters 02 at the first try to clinch her first senior global gold medal after earning World Championships silver in 2019 and Olympic bronze in Tokyo last summer. Kazakhstan Nadezhda Dubovitskaya set the Asia area indoor record with 1 meter 98 for bronze, winning her first global medal after minor medals at continental championships and games. Ukrainian journalist Ludmila Yakusheva sent us this video reaction to Maguchik's victory.
I have been covering dozens of world and European championships already, but in Belgrade, after Yaroslava Maguchik victory, I cried for the first time in all these years, and I even was forced to leave the arena maybe for a few minutes because I was ashamed of my weakness, especially taking into account what the strength and resilience this fragile young girl shown in the field maybe two minutes ago. After a week of hiding in a shelter, after 3 days car trip to the championships under bombing and airstrikes, she found the power to show the best that she is capable of today. I think if she had to jump over 210 to win the day, she would have done it because she has been fighting not only for the gold this day. She did everything possible and impossible things to show all the world that Ukrainians are incredibly strong and that nobody and nothing, even war, can crush our spirit. What Maguchik done in the field, it wasn't just a victory. I think she made a feat.
A very emotional victory indeed for Maguchik. Now in the pole vault, with the year's top 2 performances, Angelika Sidorova and Polina Knoros, as well as Irina Zuk, unable to compete in Belgrade, sidelined by sanctions against Russian and Belarusian athletes, medals went to the 3 athletes who, like Zuk, had jumped 480 this season. The U.S. defending champion, Sandy Morris, equaled that mark to take gold in 4 meters 80 in a come-from-behind victory ahead of compatriot Katie Najot with 4.75 and Slovenia's Tina Šutej with the same height. The American Olympic champion took silver thanks to a clean sheet till then against 3 misses for Šutej, who claimed her first senior global medal after having world under-20 silver back in 2006 and a 5th place in Tokyo last year. But the event most of the spectators in Belgrade's Stark Arena were waiting for was the women's long jump. And reigning champion Ivana Vuleta did not let them down, taking her 2nd consecutive gold medal after bronze in 2:14 and silver in 2:16. Buleta had only 2 valid jumps. Her 6.89 in the second round had already put her in the lead, and she then widened the gap with her competitors, landing at a world-leading 7 meters 06 in the fourth round, becoming the only athlete to break 7 meters this season. She now holds 3 of the top 4 marks of the year. Nigeria's Olympic and World Championships bronze medalist Eze Brume improved her indoor PB to 6.85 for silver, while Britain's Lorraine Ugen earned her second world indoor bronze with 6.82. The Ukraine's Marina Bek-Romanchuk placed 6th after having taken silver in the triple jump in the morning, and she was the only athlete to double. Now, in the triple jump women, Olympic and double world champion Yulimar Rojas notched up an unprecedented 3rd consecutive world indoors crown. And not content with that, she soared to an amazing 15 meters 74, which is 51 feet and 7.7 inches, in her last jump, even further than her outdoor world record. We had looked at exceptional world records during our Athletics History live show last week, and would now need to update that list with the Venezuelan prodigy's achievement, which is worth 1,297 points on the scoring table for the 4th highest women's score. And Shevket Erbay pointed out just how humongous is that performance. Her world indoor record is longer than the male national record of 60 countries. Amazing Yulimar Rojas. Spanish broadcast journalist José Luis López recorded this interview with Rojas in the Belgrade mix zone, where she also explains putting into practice the 6th attempt, once she was sure of the gold medal, the small technical changes which her coach, Ivan Pedroso, had requested. Free from pressure, she improved her world lead from 15.36 to 15.74.
Impresionante récord del mundo de Yulimar Rojas, tu tercer título mundial pista cubierta consecutivo. ¿Esto formaba parte de tu plan? ¿Sabías que ibas a saltar tantísimo?
Bueno, todavía no me creo, te estoy en shock, no me creo todavía lo que ha pasado. Sí, venía con un gran momento de forma, sí sabía que podía lograr algo grande aquí. Me levanté con grandes sensaciones. Desde hace 2 o 3 días he estado muy bien, he estado entrenando, he estado muy enfocada, he estado muy focalizada aquí en este mundial porque sé cómo estaba y no quería dejar pasar la oportunidad de poder conquistar esta marca tan estratosférica, tan grande, tan maravillosa, y más aún poder conquistar mi tercer título. Ya en el primer salto sabía que ya era campeona mundial, pero mi momento no había parado. Yo venía aquí a conquistar el World Record, el récord mundial, y poder hacerlo de gran forma y con una gran marca. Yo creo que ha sido un gran día, ha sido una maravillosa competición. Bueno, como siempre lo he dicho, no hay sexto salto malo. Todo se puede hacer en el momento perfecto y siempre ocurre en el sexto salto.
¿Dónde está la clave técnica de ese último salto del récord?
Bueno, si supieras que todavía no me he puesto a pensar en cómo salté, ¿sabes? O sea, yo sabía que estaba corriendo muy bien, que estaba trabajando técnicamente bien, pero había un detalle que faltaba. Iván quería que solo me preocupara por la técnica y por intentar mantener los péndulos arriba y poder implementar la fuerza en las piernas que necesitaba el salto, y así fue. Ya siendo campeona del mundo me relajé mucho más todavía y dije, no tengo nada que perder, voy a por todas, voy a tratar de hacer lo que me dice mi entrenador y intentar conseguirlo. Así ha sido, y nada, ya tendré tiempo de ponerme a ver los videos y poder observar todo el trabajo técnico que hice en este salto.
And it was more joy for the Ukraine as Marina Bek-Romanchuk after 3 consecutive fouls, moved from 8th to 2nd place in the last round, improving her PB by 40 centimeters to 14 meters 74, exactly 1 meter behind Rokas. Bekromanchuk is the reigning outdoor long jump silver medalist and the European indoor champion, but had only competed in the triple jump once this year after a lone foray into the event back in 2013. And Jamaica's world indoor multi-medalist, Kimberly Williams, also produced her best effort in the last attempt, landing at 14.62 for bronze. Venezuelan journalist Eomar Eza of Venezuela sent us this reaction to Yulimar's fabulous world record feat.
Me parece que sorpresa es la palabra que mejor responde o que mejor describe la forma en que los venezolanos han reaccionado a la nueva medalla de oro de Yulimar Rojas y el récord mundial en el Campeonato Mundial Indoor. Probablemente estamos más acostumbrados a seguir las temporadas de verano, los momentos estelares de los mundiales al aire libre, y mucha gente no sabía que ella estaba compitiendo en el mundial bajo techo, y los que habían seguido su competencia en el resto del año sabían que andaba bien, sabían que había hecho un 15.41 muy cerca de su récord mundial, pero no se imaginaban que le iba a dar tan poca vida a su récord mundial logrado en los Juegos Olímpicos de Tokio. De manera que ha sido una sorpresa, una agradable sorpresa, y luego se instaló un debate que duró muy poco en realidad, medios y en redes sociales, de preguntarse si será o no la mejor atleta en cualquier deporte que ha dado Venezuela. Creo que pocas dudas quedan ya sobre esto. Ninguna disciplina, incluyendo el béisbol de Grandes Ligas, que ha tenido grandes figuras históricas, incluyendo un miembro del Salón de la Fama, puede compararse con lo que ha hecho Yulimar Rojas en el atletismo, sobre todo pensando tal vez en lo que le queda por hacer.
In the shot put women, Portugal's Aurora Dongmo was already the world leader going into Belgrade, but in Serbia she reached a new dimension with an excellent throw of 20 meters 43, which is 68 centimeters longer than her outdoor PB. The USA's Chase Ely, a finalist at last year's World Outdoor Championships, had a massive throw in the 5th round, setting an area record of 20 meters 21, which is 66 feet 3 2/3 inches, moving from 4th to 1st before Dongmo outperformed her also in the 5th round, and then they both fouled the last attempt. Both Dongmo and Ely set PBs and threw much further than they ever had outdoor, plus 68 centimeters for the Portuguese and plus 53 for the American. And the overall level was the best ever at the World Indoors, 7 women throwing over 19 meters. Dongmo had represented her native Cameroon until July 2017, taking shot put gold at 2 African championships and 2 All-Africa Games before she was allowed to compete for Portugal in July 2020. And the Netherlands' Jessica Schilder, last year's European Under-23 champion, took bronze in 1948. In the women's pentathlon, gold went to Belgium's Noor Wits, last year's European indoor silver medalist, with a total of 4,929 points, ahead of Poland's Adriana Sułek with 4,851 points. Wits was the top performer in all events except the second, the high jump, where she was bested by Sułek and improved her PB by over 130 points to become the 6th best in the all-time list and improve the national record, which had belonged to double Olympic heptathlon gold medalist Nafi Thiam. The USA's Kendall Williams completed the podium with 4,680 points. The women's 4x400 relay, the last event on the program, saw Jamaica adding to its medal haul with individual bronze medalist Stephanie Ann McPherson anchoring the team to gold in 3:28:40. The Netherlands, anchored by individual silver medalist Femke Bol and with another individual finalist Lieke Klaver in the first leg, took silver in 3:38.57, just ahead of Poland with 3:38. The Netherlands, anchored by individual gold medalist Femke Bol and with another individual finalist Lieke Klaver in the first leg, took silver in 3:28.57, just ahead of Poland with 3:28.59. The Polish team had only one change in the athletes who had taken silver at the Olympics last year, and lead-off runner Natalia Kaczmarek and anchor Justyna Świetier-Szetic had taken gold in the mixed relay in Tokyo. The US team was close behind in a disappointing fourth in 4:28.63, although the Americans had not come to Belgrade with their best quarter-milers, as top names skipped the indoor season and college athletes focused on the NCAA championships. Let's look now at the men's events. In the 60-meter men, the USA's Marvin Bracey had come out fastest from the heats with a PB of 6:46, but Italy's Marcel Jacobs moved up in gear in the semi-final, equaling the world lead in a sizzling 6:45. In the final, all three medalists went below that mark, with the Italian Olympic champion catching up with pre-race favorites, US sprinters on the line, dipping to take victory by 0.03 of a second over Christian Coleman, 6.407 to 6.410, handing Coleman his first defeat at the distance since March 2016. The Italian's mark was also rounded off to 6.41, a new world lead, as Marvin Bracey took bronze with another PB 6:44. It was also a European record for Jacobs, who moved to number 4 on the all-time list, behind 3 US athletes, Coleman, Maurice Green, and Ronnie Baker, and becomes only the third Olympic champion to also win the World Indoors gold, after the US duo of Maurice Green and Justin Gatlin. But the Americans took the indoor title before the Olympic gold in 1999 and 2003, respectively, while Usain Bolt never competed indoors. After his European indoor and Olympic titles in 2021, this time no one could claim they did not know Marcel Jacobs. And to make it even sweeter, his world indoor victory came 21 years after that of his coach, Paolo Camossi, who had won the triple jump in Lisbon in 2001. Italian journalist and former Olympic finalist Franco Fava sent us this video reaction to Jacobs' victory.
Hi guys. Well, Marcel Jacobs, I believe no one did expect his race in Belgrade after his winning with the European record in 100 meters in Tokyo last summer. But what he did in Belgrade on the 60-meter indoor with 6:41 was another European record, and a very good surprise for all of us, especially for myself, because I'm lucky enough to live here in Rome, just very close where he's training with his coach Paolo Camossi every day in a track used by young people, young athletes, and old athletes as well. Is practice every day. I've spent several mornings just watching and talking to his coach. Now, what's happened now? Will be next for Marcel Jacobs? According to his coach, after his race in Belgrade, he can run the 100 meter in 9:70, and who knows? But there is another challenge for Marcel Jacobs this year, apart from the world title in Eugene and the European title in Munich. Another challenge could be in 200 meters. He said several times that he wants to run seriously 200 meters this season. Probably will start in May. And what he will face is, again, the European record that incidentally still belongs to Pietro Mennea when he broke the world record in 1979 and 1972 in Mexico City. It was the world record, but still stand as a European record. This will be the next challenge for Marcel. And wait and see what's happening when the outdoor season will be open very soon.
And in the 400 meters, the top three men all smashed their previous PB. Trinidad and Tobago's Jareem Richards, a multi-medalist with the relay and a World Championships bronze medalist at 200 in 2:17, flew to gold in a championship record of 45 seconds flat. His first world indoor, and this was the first world indoor gold medal for Trinidad and Tobago. The USA's Trevor Bassett concluded his desperate chase, crashing down after the finish line, but improved to 45.05 for silver, and Sweden's Carl Bergström set a national indoor record of 45.33 for bronze. Bassett, who also excels at both the high and the low hurdles, had won the NCAA Division II titles in 400 meters in 45.36 and in the 60-meter hurdles in 7:73, just 1 week ahead of the Belgrade final. Richards dedicated his success to friend and teammate Dion Lindor, who was killed in a car accident last January, and also thanked training partner Wade van Niekerk for helping him through some bad days. In the 800-meter men, Spain's Mariano Garcia, who had impressed with a victory in Boston in early February in a national record of 1:45.12, the fastest time this year, took gold in Belgrade with 1:46.20. Garcia had sat quietly at the back of the pack for the first lap before moving up the field, while Canada's Marco Arop, who had led for most of the race and was still in second position with 100 meters to go, faded in the closing stages to finish dead last. 17-year-old Kenyan Noah Kibet, the bronze medalist at last year's World Under-20 Championships in Nairobi, took silver in 1:46.35, becoming the youngest ever track medalist at the World Indoors, while bronze went to the USA's Bryce Hoppel, 1:46.35, who had placed fourth at the last Outdoor Championships in 2019. Two other possible pre-race favourites, Kenya's Collins Kipruto and the UK's Elliot Giles, did not even make it to the final. Kipruto was eliminated in the heats, while Giles' World Indoor campaign never even started due to an injury sustained during warm-up. Spanish journalist José Luis López recorded this interview with Garcia for us in the Belgrade Mix Zone.
Soy Mariano García, atleta de 800 metros y campeón del mundo de pista abierta 2022.
Mariano, ¿cuál crees que ha sido la clave de tu victoria en este mundial? ¿Tal vez un planteamiento táctico perfecto?
Sí, ha sido uno de tener paciencia, sobre todo la primera vuelta, y poco a poco ir luchando posiciones para adelante y aguantar hasta el final.
¿Cómo te has visto a lo largo de la carrera cuando ya en el ecuador de la misma, los 400 metros, llegabas a la tercera posición? ¿Entonces pensabas en medalla o incluso ya estabas pensando en ser campeón del mundo?
Ya cuando me he visto ahí, digo, ya puedo estar luchando por el podio, y poco a poco, cuando ataca falta de 100 metros, ya me he visto, digo, si aguanto aquí puedo ser campeón del mundo, y así ha sido al final.
Acabas la temporada como líder mundial del año en los 800 metros y como campeón del mundo después de un año 2021 complicado. A partir de aquí, ¿cuáles son tus objetivos de cara al verano 2022, donde hay Campeonato del Mundo y Campeonato de Europa, dos citas muy importantes?
Pues ahora descansar un poquillo mentalmente y físicamente para recuperar y ya preparar la temporada de verano, pensando con el maestro a ver lo que me decía hacer, si preparar más el Mundial o el Europeo, pero esperemos que una de las dos cosas vayan bastante bien.
¿Y dónde está, por último, el techo de la moto, que es como te conocemos en el argot del atletismo? ¿Dónde estaría tu techo en los 800 metros después de la gran temporada en pista cubierta que has hecho?
Pues no lo sé, pero esperamos que todavía haya mucha moto para adelante y sigamos mejorando poco a poco.
Another surprise result came in the men's 1500 meters, where pre-race favorite Jakob Ingebrigtsen, who had set the world record earlier this year, was beaten into second by reigning champion Samuel Tefera. The Ethiopian, who had lost their 11 previous matches, edged past Ingebrigtsen on the home straight, clocking 3:32.77 for a championship record, with the Norwegian closing in 3:33.02 for silver. Kenya's Abel Kipsang, who had led the field in a fast opening lap, completed the podium with 3:33.36, earning her first global medal. Tokyo Olympic champion over 10,000 meters, Selemon Barega, added another title over 3,000 meters indoor to his growing collection, which was the 8th for Ethiopia at the distance, taking gold in 7:41.38 in a tactical race ahead of compatriot and a steeplechase specialist Lamecha Girma with 7:41.63. British US-based Mark Scott took bronze in 7:40.02. Spain's Adel Meshal, who ran the fourth best time this year behind three Ethiopians, was a disappointing 7th in 7:43.60. And an even bigger surprise was the elimination in the heats of world leader Beriwa Aregawi of Ethiopia, who could only place 6th in a slowish heat. On the 60 men's hurdles, the semi-finals had produced several records, with Grant Holloway, who equaled his world indoor record with 7:29. Holloway now owns 4 of the 5 best times ever and 7 of the top 10, with only 2 other athletes on that list: former record holder Colin Jackson with a 3rd mark, and Cuba's 210 World Indoors champion Dairon Robles with the 6th and 7 best marks. The semis also saw Australia's Chris Douglas improve the Oceania record to 7:56, while Brazil's Rafael Pereira equaled his South American record, clocking 7:58 for the 5th time this year. The final was not as fast, but there were no surprises here, as Grant Holloway extended his win streak over the 60-meter hurdles to 57 races, taking gold comfortably in 7:39, ahead of France's outdoor bronze medalist and world indoors multi-medalist Pascal Martineau-Lagarde with 7:50, and Jared Eaton 7:53, who had already taken silver in the last edition. Grant Holloway has now clocked 8 of the top 10 marks of the season, including the top 4, with the other 2 belonging to Trey Cunningham, who privileged the NCAA championships held just 1 week before the World Indoors, where he took gold. In the men's high jump, South Korea's Sang-Yok Woo confirmed his favorite role after he had already cleared 2:36 and 2:35 this year, taking victory with a first-time clearance of 2 meters 34 to earn Korea's first world indoor medal after he had won World Under-18 gold in 2:13. 4 athletes successfully cleared 2:31, all of them on the second attempt, with silver going to Switzerland Loïc Gache, who had a clean sheet until that height. Bronze was shared with the same measure by co-Olympic gold medalist Gianmarco Tamberi, who had not competed at all this season and only decided to travel to Belgrade 2 days before the start of the World Indoors, and New Zealand's Hamish Kerr, who earned his first ever global medal. Brazil's Thiago Moura also cleared 2:31 for an area record, but had to be content with 4th place due to higher overall number of fouls. In the pole vault, Mondo Duplantis improved his world record, which he had set in the same arena 12 days before, bringing it to 6 meters 20, which is over 20 feet and 4 inches. The Swede put on another dominant display, clearing all heights between 5:60 and 6 meters 05 on the first attempt, and passing a height in between each jump. He then cleared the world indoor mark on his third attempt. The other contenders had dropped out well before, with Brazil's 216 Olympic champion Thiago Braz taking silver in an area record of 5:95, while the USA's Chris Nielsen took bronze with 5:90. Valentin Lavillenie took fourth spot in a PB of 5:85 to keep the family name flying high in the absence of his more famous brother Renaud. In the long jump, Miltiadis Tentoglu gave himself a present for his 24th birthday, adding world indoors gold to his Olympic title. He landed at 8:55, his second longest jump ever, and the sixth best of all time indoor, in the second round after all the top contenders had fouled in the first attempt. For good measure, the Greek, who was spotted by a coach as he practiced parkour in a stadium and invited to try athletics, added an 8:51 in the sixth attempt. Sweden's Tobias Montler, a double European indoor silver medalist, improved to 8:38 in the sixth attempt to take the silver medal, ahead of USA's Marcus Dendy and 216 champion and 218 bronze medalist, who took another bronze with age 27. Peru's Jose Mandros Martinez, who had come into the championships with the fourth best mark, 8:17, could only manage 7:81 for 10th place, while Tokyo Olympic bronze medalist and former world under-18 and under-20 champion Cuba's Michael Massot had 3 fouls and no measured. Lázaro Martínez kept the Cuban tradition in the triple jump, taking gold with 17:64, improving his outdoor best by 36 centimeters and putting his seal on the competition in the very first round. For good measure, he did then jump to 17:62 in round 4, proving too strong even for a standout athlete like reigning Olympic champion, Cuban-born Portuguese Pedro Pichardo, who improved the national record to 17:46, while the USA's Donald Scott took bronze with 17:21, just ahead of defending champion Will Clay with 17:19. Martinez seemed promised to a bright future after winning World Under-18 and 2 World Under-20 championships between 2013 and 2016, and placing 6th in his first Olympic Games in Rio as an 18-year-old, but his progress stalled after 2018. Coached by 1997 world champion Yoelbi Quesada since 2018, Martinez thanked his coach after the final for continuing to believe in him through those dark days. Another very high-quality final and another surprise result came in the men's shot put, as Brazil's Darlan Romani set a championship record and improved the area record he had set less than a month ago by a huge 82 centimeters to 22:53, shooting to the 4th best on the all-time lists. After a string of global 4th-place finishes, Romani became the second athlete since 1989 to throw over 22.5 meters indoor, behind world indoor record holder Ryan Krauser, who could not break the jinx and had to settle for silver in the only major championships he has not won yet. Krauser had thrown a massive 22.44 in the first round, and many thought that was it. But the Brazilian responded in round 3 to take the lead, inflicting a rare defeat on Krauser, who had not lost a competition since the 2019 World Championships final and not lost indoors since way back in March 2015. New Zealand's Tom Walsh took bronze, equaling his area record with 22:31, while Poland's Konrad Bukowiecki remained well below his best and could not make the last 8, closing in 10th spot with 20:79. In the men's heptathlon, Canada's reigning Olympic champion Damien Warner took gold with 6,489 points, improving on his silver from the last edition. Switzerland Simon Ehammer improved his PB to 6,363 points for silver, while Australia's Ashley Maloney took bronze with 6,344 points, an Oceania indoor record. Ehammer, who had jumped an excellent 8:26 during the combined events meet in Aubière at the end of January, which was the world leading mark in long jump going into Belgrade, was unable to repeat the feat in Serbia, landing at 8.04 meters. He moved briefly into first spot after the pole vault, where he cleared 5.10 meters, while Warner could only manage 4.90 meters. But his 1,000 meters effort, the second slowest among all contenders, was no match for the Canadian, who was among three fastest in the last event. The USA's Garrett Scantling, the world leader before Belgrade, was never in the lead positions and pulled out before the start of the second day, having suffered food poisoning. And finally, the 4x400 meters relay gold went to Belgium with 3 minutes 06:52, ahead of Spain with 3:06:82 and the Netherlands with 3:06:90, even without their star runner, Lee Marvin Bonifacia, who was in Belgrade but had to withdraw before the final of the individual event due to a hamstring injury suffered in training. The US team had been eliminated after placing second in the heats, despite a heroic effort by Isaiah Harris in the anchor leg, who pulled a muscle with 650 meters to go, but continued the race. With only the first in each heat guaranteed a place in the final, along with the next three fastest time, the US's mark of 3:09:11 was not fast enough to advance to the final six. And finally, let's take a look at what's coming up in the next weeks as we reach the end of our show. On March 27th, the South American Cross-Country Championships take place in Serra, Brazil. The World Racewalking Tour resumes on 2 April with a gold event in Podebrady in the Czech Republic. On the 3rd of April, the Milan Marathon takes place on a very fast course in the northern Italian city, and the Paris Marathon is among the other top road events on that weekend. And of course, outdoor athletics events are now taking off in earnest in the Northern Hemisphere, in addition to the Southern Hemisphere, where interesting results have already been registered. And we'll talk about it in the next program. So we're now at the end of the show. It was great having Chris with us.
Thanks for having me, and I appreciate it. Have a blessed day, Anna. It's always a blessing to see your beautiful face. Have a good one.
Thank you, Chris. Big hug to you, Faith, and the children. Take care.
I will. Thank you. Thank you. You do the same. All right. Bye.
Thank you all for watching, and see you in 2 weeks on Love Athletics to look together at the highlights, comments, and analysis of what's been happening in our sport over the past fortnight. Thank you. Bye-bye.